We are going to get started. Welcome to our meeting. Thank you for being here. And let's get going. Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertising such notice in the Home News Tribune, the Asbury Park Press, the Board Office, the schools, and on Cablevision Channel 118 and Verizon Fios Channel 24, and by filing such notice with the Township Clerk. Notice has also been provided that as of March 1st, 2026, future meeting notices will only be published on the district website. This meeting was scheduled for Monday, March 23rd, 2026. The board will take formal action on payment of bills and other agenda items. Mr. Wydell?
The Old Bridge Township Board of Education acknowledges that the law of the state establishes that members of the public, including members of the board, have the right to record public board meetings using audio or video recording devices, provided the act or recording does not interfere with the business of this public board meeting. Therefore, the board makes it known that any such recording is to be considered the private recording of the individual and in no manner represents the official record of this board. The board therefore takes no responsibility for such private recording and completely disavows any future use.
Roll call, please.
Ms. D'Antuno.
Here.
Mr. Dunn.
Here.
Ms. Jodry.
Here.
Ms. Mazzone.
Here.
Ms. Richards-Patterson.
Here.
Mr. Slade.
Here.
Mr. Solokowski. Mr. Venkatesan.
Here.
And Ms. Francisco.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Will everybody please rise for the pledge? Okay, Code of Ethics.
The board member will refuse to surrender his or her independent judgment to special interest or partisan political groups or to use the schools for personal gain or for the gain of friends.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, so moving on to approval of minutes. Can I please have a motion for item number 1?
Ms. Owen, motion.
Jojo, second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Dunn.
Yes.
Ms. Jodry.
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone.
Yes.
Ms. Richards-Patterson.
Yes.
Mr. Slade.
Yes.
Mr. Solokowski.
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan.
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno.
Yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolution 1 for approval of minutes passes.
Great. Okay, our student representative, Jordan, couldn't be here this evening, so we will catch up with her next month. I'm sure she'll have a lot to share with us. Okay, so we are going to move on to recognition, my favorite part of this meeting, and with a full house tonight, I know it's going to be pretty exciting. So we're going to take a motion and board discussion after this because I want to make sure that each celebration item on here gets the time it deserves. So we are going to start with our retirements, item number 1. Christina?
I move the board to approve the retirement of the following staff members with deep appreciation for their years of dedicated service to the district. Diane DeFeo, 27 years. Audrey Penska, 28 years. Susan Stahl, 18 years. Naomi Tarani, 27 years. Joanne Veneziali, 27 years. Kathy Yeager, 25 years. Dee Ramos, 29 years. Altogether, that's 181 years serving the district. Congratulations to every single one of you on your retirement, and thank you so much for your years of dedication to our students.
Are any of our retirees here? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, moving on to item number 2, I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Dunn.
Thank you, Madam President. Move the board to recognize retired police officer Patrick D'Onofrio for his many years of dedicated service to our school community as a DARE instructor. Throughout his time in our schools, Officer D'Onofrio made a lasting impact on countless students by promoting responsible decision-making, respect, and drug-free lifestyles. His commitment to building positive relationships between law enforcement and our youth has helped foster trust, safety, and a strong character within our school community. Officer D'Onofrio's dedication, professionalism, and genuine care for our children have left a legacy that will continue to influence students for years to come. We are deeply grateful for his service and the positive difference he has made in the lives of our students and families. On the behalf of the board, administration, staff, students, and community, we extend our sincere appreciation and congratulations to retired Officer Patrick D'Onofrio.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn, and formally, I'll tell you, just a quick story, just so you know, although he's retired, I happen to be at Shepherd School today, and I'm just walking down the hallway, and who pops out of the main office? Officer D'Onofrio. So he is still working and still working for our community. And I had the opportunity this year to attend several fifth grade graduations and to just see what the foundation that he has laid for so many of you probably back there who know this guy from your days at our elementary schools. And so just on behalf of the board, congratulations and thank you for everything that you provided to our students over the years. Thank you, Officer D'Onofrio.
First and foremost, board members, I'd like to thank you. I did not expect this. I never expected this any of my career, and I'm sure I definitely have taught some of them back there. One of the things I always did in my career, I just wanted to make a difference, and I will make sure I get you guys something because I was notified today that for the last 5 years, I've had Old Bridge students take part in Partnership for Drug-Free New Jersey competitions. And again, this year we have 8 or 9 finalists in the 4th grade competition out of 30. The names were only released to the principals, but once I get the names, I'll forward them to the board. But thank you for the support over all the years. And you guys back there, a lot of the stuff done in the school district is for you. Take everything you learned and put it towards your future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, we are going to move on to our next item for recognition, and it is many of our students here for our winter sports. So I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Domino.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to start out by congratulating all sports athletes, families on an incredible season. Being able to successfully balance athletics and academics takes hard work, organization, and dedication. All of these attributes will assist our student athletes in their future endeavors, and I am incredibly proud to watch our athletes grow and develop while being part of our teams. Tonight, I'd like to introduce and celebrate 4 athletic programs for winning either their division, conference, sectional championships. First up, we have the girls' winter track team. Here is Coach Tip, Coach Aranella, and the girls' winter track team. They won the GMC Conference Championship. Next, we have our unified basketball team. Here to accept the award is Coach Chablowski and Coach O'Brien. Unified basketball won the NJSIA South Sectional Championship for the first time in school history. Next up, we have our boys wrestling team. Here to accept the award is Coach Post and the boys wrestling team. This year they won the GMC Conference Champions for the first time in school history and the Central Jersey Group 4 Sectional Championship. Congratulations. And finally, we have our girls wrestling team. Here to accept the award is Coach Post, walking right back around with the girls wrestling team. Girls won the NJSIA Girls District 7 Championship for the first time in school history. Congratulations again to all the winter athletes and coaches and players and parents. On to hopefully a nice warm spring.
Thank you, Mr. Domino. Thank you, coaches. Thank you, students, for coming. Can I have a motion for recognition?
D'Antuono will move.
Ms. Vaughn will
George will second.
Any discussion? Anybody have any words?
Madam President, I just want to share my sincere thanks again to retired police officer D'Onofrio. I can tell you unequivocally, I've known him for almost 22 years. Being on the fire department, I've done a lot of work with him, and I can tell you unequivocally that his work and his sincere generosity towards our children and making sure that they were well-versed and educated in the DARE program did pay lives, and it helped our children become who they are today. So with that said, I want to thank Pat for his years of service. What he has done has made a lasting impression on our children, and all we can say is thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You've done a remarkable job, because you know what? Our kids have followed your lead, and they've been responsible, and they have done very well with their adolescence and growing up to be mature young adults, and that's because of you. Thank you, Pat, from my heart and everyone's heart for your dedication.
I also wanted to take a moment and thank Officer D'Onofrio for his dedication. I worked with him a few times and his team with Memorial PTA, and always a receptive phone call, picks up the phone, answers all the questions, and had some great conversations. So thank you for your dedication to Old Bridge students.
I'll echo that. I worked with him in the past also, and congratulations to all the students that received the recognition tonight.
Anyone else? Officer D'Onofrio, I know that my two girls had the pleasure of working with you, so I know that they will remember everything they've learned. I hope they better apply it straight to their lives, or I'm going to tell them you're coming to get them. So thank you for all that you have done for all of our students. Congratulations to all of our sports athletes who are probably not here anymore, but I would have left too if I were them. This is clearly the best part of the meeting, so congratulations to them, and also to all of our retirees. I mean, that was a lot of years of service that all of those individuals gave to our students and to our community, so I wish them the very best on their retirement. Okay, roll call.
Ms. Jodry,
Absolutely, yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Ms. Richards-Patterson,
Yes.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Solakowski.
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan,
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno,
Congratulations to all, yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Absolutely, positively, yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 3 for recognition passes.
Okay, superintendent's report. Dr. Sasso?
Thank you, Ms. Francisco, and well said. Officer D'Onofrio, I know you're still here. One final thought. I did talk to your protege, Officer Bucci, who apologizes for not being able to be here tonight, spoke very fondly about being in your class 16 years ago as he went through our Old Bridge Township Public Schools, and he is carrying the torch, and you taught him well, so thank you for that. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. So a few things tonight. I start off with excellence in education, and I would like to just take a moment to recognize the incredible work that took place across our district in celebration of Read Across America Week. Our elementary schools truly showcase what it takes to make Old Bridge so special. Each building unique in its approach, yet all united in fostering a love of reading and learning. Specifically, I'll mention my visit to Grissom Elementary School. I had the opportunity to spend time with a group of 5th grade students in Miss Oliver and Miss Cruz Moran's classes, and I left incredibly impressed. What stood out most was not only their enthusiasm, but their initiative. Both classes followed up with full-page reflections, and several students requested a sit-down meeting with me to share new ideas and initiatives that they would like to propose. It was a powerful reminder of the student voice that exists in our schools and the culture our staff has created to empower it. I'm extremely proud of our students and deeply appreciative of the dedication and creativity of the staff who make experiences like this possible every day. As part of our continued focus on fiscal resilience, we are actively exploring opportunities that both strengthen programming and improve our financial position as a district. These are truly challenging times, and our district, like many others, have been navigating a financial reality that is increasingly difficult to sustain. The dramatic increase in the cost of healthcare benefits far outpace increases in our operating budget. But with that said, I am so grateful to this board for their commitment to our community and for challenging me to look under every rock to find potential savings. I am pleased to share that tonight we hope to take a proactive step to address some of this challenge with a change in our prescription benefits plan. The good news is that this change will not impact the vast majority of our staff, while at the same time generating meaningful benefits and savings for our district. Savings that are critical as we remain committed to preserving positions, programs, and resources to support our students. Another area that we are currently researching is the potential return of the adult school program and the expansion of a district credit recovery program. Dr. Ray Payton will be working in his capacity as a principal in both of these areas, which could provide meaningful benefits, generating additional revenue, reducing out-of-district tuition costs, and creating expanded learning opportunities. Several principals and administrators will conduct site visits to neighboring districts that currently operate successful models of these programs. This will allow us to evaluate best practices and determine long-term sustainability. I look forward to updating the board as this exploration continues. And finally, the whole child, and this is probably the best part of what I get to do every day as I visit schools and spend time with our students. There are so many examples of our district supporting our children here in Old Bridge Township Public Schools, but I think it can be summed up in 2 words: Adriana Maria. Over the past few months, we have all witnessed the incredible love and support for Adriana. And to see her on Friday afternoon as I visited the main building over here, in the main office, smiling, reconnecting with her classmates, is really nothing short of a miracle. It's moments like these that remind us that what we do extends far beyond academics. It's about connection, compassion, and ensuring that every child feels supported and valued. I'm wishing you all a wonderful spring break. Just a reminder, Friday is an early dismissal, and then we're off for the week. I'll leave that up to Ms. Francisco, but we do return Monday, April 6th, so please be safe during the break. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Sasso.
Elena, may I just clarify something? So, Dr. Sasso, you, in your report, you used words with respect to the adult high school as exploring opportunities, researching, and potential return. Will the board still reserve the right to vote on how that will look, who the administration will be, and things like that?
100%. This is just the exploration stages, and you'll 100% be. Yep.
Okay. Mr. Wydell, do we have any correspondence?
No correspondence today.
Okay. Let's move on to special committee reports. Who would like to kick that off? Anyone have any? None? Okay. I would like to report on behalf of SEPTA for the meeting that they hosted last Thursday. They had a wonderful turnout, as always, which included so many people, staff members, teachers, paras, parents, administrators. Our staff from our transportation team was there, council members, and our mayor. It's wonderful to see everybody come together to support our special education programs. SEPTA would like to give a special shout out to their student representatives, Ava and Michaela, who both gave a wonderful presentation. Dr. Tui gave an in-depth presentation surrounding the IEP process and kept us laughing throughout in all the best ways. To top off an already great meeting, we finished up by touring Mrs. Chiodo's newly renovated life skills classroom, and it is very clear that the kids are thriving in that room with all of the additions that we have provided for them. So thank you, SEPTA, for a well-rounded and engaging meeting. I would also like to talk about the Harlem Wizards game. I know that most of you are fully aware, but for those of you who are not, the Harlem Wizards are coming to town on Sunday, May 3rd. And the game is going to be at 3 p.m. Tickets are going fast, so make sure you get your tickets. And if you would like to purchase a United shirt, the sale ends on March 30th, so just keep that date in mind. And if you have any other questions, then feel free to reach out to SEPTA. Thank you. Okay, hearing of the residents for agenda items only. Okay, seeing none, I will close hearing of the residents. Okay, moving on to policy. Can I have a motion for item number 1?
Slater move.
Mozone will second.
Richard Patterson had the motion, and we'll have the slate as the second.
Any discussion? We are presenting these as a second read and for approval this evening. Okay, roll call.
Ms. Mazzone?
Yes.
Ms. Richards Patterson?
Yes.
Mr. Solokowski? Or,
Yes.
excuse me, Mr. Slade?
Yes.
Mr. Solokowski?
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan?
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Ms. Jodry?
Yes.
Ms. Francisco?
Yes.
Resolution 1 for policy carries.
Curriculum and professional development, items 1 through 8. Can I have a motion, please?
Done will move, Madam President.
D'Antuno will second.
Any discussion?
I have a discussion. On number 8, the science dimensions, I just want to thank Dr. Tui for, and I think Dr. Holker also, for searching and implementing this, because I know a lot of the elementary school teachers have said that they didn't have enough for the science. We didn't really have any science at all in the elementary, and I know a lot of them were looking for this, so I want to thank you both for the work that you guys put into this.
I'm going to piggyback off of that. for a lot of the same reasons, just in being present in our elementary schools and the need for a science curriculum. And I was so pleased when we finally, came to the decision to acquire a new curriculum. And I also would like to thank Dr. Toohey and Dr. Hoker for your involvement and your expertise pushing this forward, Mr. Caulfield, and then a lot of our middle school science teachers, Mrs. Feingold, Mrs. Carabalese, Mrs. Langen, and any of the middle school science teachers who help facilitate the presentations, gather survey information from their fellow teachers, and help review each of these programs to choose what's best for our children. So, and I know that it also aligns with our middle school curriculum, so that will be seamless when they go from 5th to 6th grade. So I'm really excited. I hope everybody else is just as excited. So thank you to all who made this happen. Any other discussion? All right, roll call. Little timeout, sorry. Clean up on aisle 5.
All right.
All right. Roll
Ms.
call.
Richards-Patterson?
Yes.
Mr. Slade?
Yes.
Mr. Solikowski?
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan?
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Ms. Jodry?
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone?
Yes.
And Ms. Francisco?
Yes.
It costs a cup of coffee, but Resolution 1 to 8 for curriculum and professional development passes.
Awesome.
Now you have to worry
Okay.
about the rest of them.
Moving on to finance. I think the best way to approach this, we'll do the motion and discussion, but I think separating them might help. So perhaps we can focus on items 1 through 14 first to see if we have any discussion about those, and then shift over to 15 through 19, which are our budget items. So let's start with 1 through 14. Do we have any discussion? Before we even do motions or anything like that, let's just discuss. Anyone? Okay. All right.
Madam
Yes.
President,
Yes?
I have a question regarding number 5.
Okay.
On the finance, and this will be directed to Mr. Wydell. Mr. Wydell, I see that we're paying for security measures for a few different non-public school entities. Could you just explain to the public what these funds are for and what these expenses entitle, so that the public is aware that we do pay for security funding for non-public entities?
Sure. So, as part of the state's formula, when you have a non-pub or parochial school, non-public school within your borders, there's an entitlement that they are allowed per student, depending on the nature of the purchase. Other categories can be textbooks, technology, security, nursing services, or there might be one more. But essentially, there is a formula that is based on the amount of kids that go to that institution. There is a percentage or a dollar amount per diem per student for that child. And so the state, we're kind of like a pass-through. The state provides us the funding, and then we have to make the purchases on behalf of that school. So, for instance, Cavalry Christian, whatever security upgrades they needed within their school. It could be security cameras, it could be window film, it could be something on their doors. Any of the nature, they certainly have that authorization to make the purchases based on the needs of their school, but we essentially just act as the passerby, where we have the funds, they're funds directed and only appropriated for that institution, and we just have to make the purchase on their behalf.
So what category or line item does that show under revenue in our budget?
That would be in Fund 20, grants and entitlements. So within the grants and entitlements, that includes grants that we'll get, whether it's federal grants like Title I, Title II, Title III, Title IV, IDEA funding, Perkins funding. Those are all federal grants that we do specifically get the funding for. And then there's also entitlements for non-public entities, and that will include the textbooks, the technology, the security services, the nursing services, and we use the ESCNJ, Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, to associate and kind of help give those funds out.
So it's separate from our state aid. So it's a separate line item that has nothing to do with our state aid. It's as a reimbursable or for an expense for a non-public school. So it is delineated very clearly, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I would just like to acknowledge and thank Newman and Associates for their donation for the Jonas Salk Performing Arts Program at the school, and again, the DAF Giving 360 for their donation on behalf of the Gatorade. So thank you to both of those entities for the donation to our district.
Okay. Items 15 through 19 pertain to our tentative budget. So, Mr. Wydell, I know you have something that you need to review. Sure. Okay.
Sure. So one correction that we'll have to make for the tentative budget, one of the tentative budget resolutions, is the actual adoption of the tentative budget. It's resolution number 18. When going through the tentative budget software and submitting or getting ready to submit our budget, there was $1 in which, and every dollar matters, but there was $1 in favor of the taxpayers that we had through a process called the recapitulation of balances. It's a recap of balances. And essentially, because of rounding in the state software, the state budget software, there was $1, and it most likely was a couple years ago, a 50 cents was outstanding in debt service that was levied in a prior year. So that 50 cents gets levied or increased, rounded up to $1. So what that means is when I go through the recapitulation of balances, a very technical term, very technical process, there was $1 that I had to use that was kind of in reserves. It was in an account that I had to use towards the debt service to be paid for 26, 27. It's similar to the audit process when you have expenditures that when you're done with your audit and you have a certain amount of surplus, unassigned surplus, in excess of a percentage, whatever that amount is, it has to go back into the subsequent year's budget. This is a very similar process. There was, again, probably 50 cents or $1 in a levy from a prior year that has to be used in the 26-27 school year. So we're going to be making a administrative correction to resolution number 18, and I'm just going to pass these down. If you compare resolution number 18 to this little form, and I'm going to read it into the record so everyone has it. Let me know if I need more on that side. Anything in the teal is the correction. More on that side? Two more? Okay. Okay. So, if anyone has either agenda in the crowd or is that looking at home and has the agenda up on the computer, here is the correction that will be read into the record, and we will, again, administratively correct it, and the new revised tentative budget resolution number 18 will be uploaded onto the website as well. So here is the correction. In the second column, second row, where it's less anticipated revenues, under the debt service category, the total amount of debt service does not change. So it's still $2,681,325. However, the anticipated revenue to be changed is it goes from $0 to $1. So that by result, the taxes to be raised goes from $2,681,325 to $2,681,324. So there's one less dollar out of your pocket that has to be levied. There's a savings of $1, and again, every dollar matters. So to continue with the administrative correction, the total column now on the top, the less anticipated revenues now equals $35,466,364 instead of the usual or the previous $363. The taxes to be raised goes from $169,424,252 to $169,424,251. And then when you go midway kind of down in the, when you start breaking it down, operating budget, specifically we're only looking at the Fund 40, which is the repayment of debt. We are now adding 2 lines that will go and add up to that $2,681,325. The first line that we'll add is read as follows: 40 debt service fund recapitulation of balances, $1, and then 40 debt service levied to pay principal and interest. It'll be $2,681,324. That will be the new tax levy for debt service, and then the total tentative budget levy of both the general fund and the debt service will be $169,424,251. So all that for $1, but I have to do it, and the budget software makes me do it, and it's based on rounding, and it's unfortunate, but again, just has to be made, and that correction has to be made. So thank you.
Mr. Weidel, real quick, I got a few emails about this. The taxpayers want to know how they should expect their refunds.
We gotta. I don't know if there's a way. I guess we're gonna. Yeah, I'll pass. I'll keep exploring those options.
Wow, okay, thank you for that very detailed description and explanation over $1, but it's $1 saved, so. I just want to say a little something about the tentative budget, and it all really lies in that word tentative. So tonight, what's on this agenda is the tentative budget that we must submit to the county for approval. It is a requirement by the state, it is a formality, and every district has to do it. So it is in no way an approval or a disapproval of the budget. That will be in May. This is just to send it on its merry way for approval, to move forward. It buys us time to continue looking for ways to save. So I just wanted to be clear, at least for myself and my vote, that this is just saying that it goes on to the county, it gets approved, and comes back to us to further work on. Is that an accurate description? Way of saying that? Okay.
I will say to that, again, the tentative budget submission is due to the county offices on Friday. So essentially what the vote today, if it is passed, again, it just allows me, our district, to submit to the county for approval and then review. As we've seen the past 2 years, the tentative budget submission was very different than the final budget. But again, it's just that process. It's now the next step. And we, Dr. Sasso, myself, the entire team, we are continuing. Essentially, when we submit that budget on Friday, we still have a month to keep finding and keep digging on savings. We have a meeting set up tomorrow with our insurance broker to look a little bit deeper on property insurance, workers' comp, some of those areas. So we are still working every day as an administrative team. This vote tonight, if passed, it just approves the submission of the budget so that it can be reviewed by the county to make sure there's no glaring issues, and we still have the opportunity up until the public hearing to dig deeper and make some changes. The only thing would be if any changes are to be made from this budget, or this submission on this resolution to the public hearing, to the final adoption, we have to announce those at the public hearing. So if there's any changes that are made, we have to make those public and announce those. So, thank you.
Mr. Waddell, I had some questions from some taxpayers. They wanted to know where the anticipated revenues come from.
Sure. I wish I wrote it down because all right. So the board president and I went over it with the board president today, so I gave her the full list of all the other revenues.
So I have my chicken scratch here. So 25 million of that is the state aid. And the rest of it comes from a combination of extraordinary aid, some federal funds such as Medicaid, shared services with our township for summer busing, and also before and after care for custodial services. Our preschool tuition, we do have an out-of-district tuition from a student who comes from a different town. Estimated interest, rentals of any of our buildings, the money we get from the Cheesequake rental, the cell tower, a few miscellaneous items, the field signs on the football fields, and also non-public funding, which we actually just talked about, the aid for our parochial schools. That's what I have, unless there's anything else you want to add to that.
No, that's correct. So again, if you're looking at the tentative budget resolution, you'll see in order to get to that 198 million in the general fund, you're looking at the tax levy and then all those the the 32 million makes up all the items that Ms. Francisco just pointed out, the state aid, the lease for Cheesequake, and so forth. So those will be, again, usually they are included all at the public hearing as well. So you'll see all the specific amounts and different subjects.
Yeah, and I'd like to share some information. I thought to talk about in the committee report, but since we have this in the agenda, I thought I'll use this time to talk about an update. I think it's probably since January, if I recall right. Since January, I think, this group here, along with the administration, everybody, we have been kind of really crunching the numbers, if I have to say, Dr. Sasso and Mr. Vidal really going into the line item by line item and crunching the numbers for us to ensure and make sure we run a highly performant organization and bring in more efficiencies, right? That's been like the theme, almost like since when Dr. Sasso joined us. So I should definitely acknowledge and share, there have been quite a few sessions in January. We've been having close working meetings. At least it's becoming more transparent, I should say. At least in the past, I couldn't get that level of detail. I like my other colleagues here to vouch for it, but I could see a level of transparency coming out, getting into the details where we could make some savings, where we could, make some efficiency gains. And I'm not sure, Mr. Vidal, you're going to break this down today or maybe in the later, but we already see about 50% of savings, starting to be realized, right? So, and yes, because of the state's increase in the medical cost, right, health benefits cost, we are still, burdened with 9 million plus. But that's something which we have to figure out, like Mr. Vidal and Dr. Sasso also has said this. We are going to still continue working with our insurance companies and find other avenues. And this is not necessarily a final budget, but at least this gives a perspective, I think, for everyone beginning of the budget season. Where do we stand? It's just not Old Bridge. I'm sure many of you are watching the news and what's going around in New Jersey at least. And everybody is burdened with the state health benefit cost increase. So I think it's more of an awareness, and of course, we all need to go back and fight with Trenton. That's a separate story. But I think awareness is the key here, and I want to communicate that our administration is working so hard to ensure that we go line item by line item and bring in more efficiency and cost savings. Thank you, Dr. Sasso and Mr. Vidal.
I just want to echo the sentiment from Kieran's position. Quite honestly, the system is broken. The state formula is just absolutely ridiculous, and we're the backstop, it seems, when it comes down to cutting our programs and trying to find money to fill the holes in that the state of New Jersey has left us. It's just absolutely crazy that a municipality, a city like Newark, gets 66 million additional state aid dollars, and Old Bridge just gets $1 million in state aid additional this year, which we're very fortunate to receive that. But I can tell you that I am pleased with the way this board has attacked this budget, even though it's going to be a tentative budget and there's still a lot of work to be done. And I have to applaud Dr. Sasso, Dr. Hoka, David Wydell, and Dr. Tui for getting this process started back in 2025. We knew that we were going to have some pitfalls, and we were able to really work as a team collaboratively to find avenues where we could try to maximize our savings and try to deal with the pending tax increase to the Old Bridge residents. When I first got on the board back in 2010, our state aid was $44 million. That was the monies that Trenton was giving us for our school system. Today, we're below $25 million. So you could see, we're doing a lot more with a lot less. And yes, the Old Bridge taxpayer has, filled that void tremendously. And I want to sincerely thank the Old Bridge residents for understanding the situation that we are in as a Board of Education. It goes back to them, their generosity. Yes, everyone doesn't like to pay additional taxes, but when it comes down to education, it is the gift that this community gives to our children. And I can assure you that the 9 board members up at this podium are working tirelessly to find avenues to preserve our tax dollars and to preserve the educational enrichment to our students. When healthcare costs increase by 35%, when energy costs increase, these are things that are beyond our control, and this board is doing a remarkable job. And you know what, we may come from different avenues or different situations, or we have different beliefs, but I can tell you that we are unified on this matter to find a common ground, a common number that's going to work for our taxpayer. So again, I want to sincerely thank the taxpayers of Old Bridge Township for their generosity and their understanding. And we're going to continue working diligently to figure out this puzzle to ensure that our quality of education does not decrease. Thank you.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to also mention, it's not about current year, right? It's always about looking strategically, how do we ensure we bring in efficiency, right? I'm sure probably later on towards the budget we're going to talk about it. But that's another aspect when I see Dr. Sasso or Mr. Weidel and administration working with insurance companies. The immediate benefits could be a little less, but we always have to look at the compounding benefit we are going to get over the period of the next few years. So this administration, I can tell, is already starting to look at it, and I think the direction is the right direction to head forward. But I just want the community to be aware, because we have been all in many of the closed working sessions. I don't think we had any formal communication about it. I thought to share at least what we can at this point, so that everybody is aware that we are seriously looking at how we can bring in more efficiencies and reduce the cost. Yep, thank you.
Okay, do we have any other discussion, at least for any of the finance items?
Yes, separating number 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 for voting purposes and discussion.
Okay,
Do you want 15 as well? 15 to 19?
Yep.
Okay. So separated resolutions 15 to 19 by Mr. Solakowski for voting. Okay?
I think we may have covered the discussion part, because I did want to do that first. So
Yeah.
is there any other discussion before we move on to motioning for these items separately?
Excuse me. I just wanted to preface my vote by sharing my feelings, regarding really mostly number 18. Sorry. These aren't easy decisions. To be honest, it feels like the Hunger Games. That's what this feels like. I feel like nobody wins. Because we have to look at our incredible faculty. We have to think about our children and what's best for them. And we have to consider the taxpayer, who we have raised taxes on over the past 2 years by a lot. And, we have, for me even, I'm a single parent trying to keep and maintain my home. We have senior citizens on fixed income, renters with increased rent, people living paycheck to paycheck, people whose children go to private school and are paying our taxes for our schools. So these are challenging, and I just want to stay true to who I am. So I feel voting to pass this, for me personally, it's just too soon. And I have extreme confidence in the entire admin team. They have been working so tirelessly and getting so much done already. They've had so much patience. I talked to Dr. Sass, I've talked to Dr. Tui, I've talked to Mr. Whiteout multiple times, just to educate myself, understand a lot of what this means, and literally going line by line. I never wanted to be where we're going to succumb to talking about things like security, full-day kindergarten, ROTC. For me, those aren't even something I would consider cutting. And we're running out of things to cut. But just for me personally, I have full confidence that we're going to get better. And that, again, we have a brand new superintendent, and that it's just too soon. So I just wanted to explain my vote, which will be to abstain. And I think that come May, I'm going to feel entirely differently.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, we're going to vote on all of them individually, right?
We can do 1 to 14, and then we can do 15 to 19.
15 individually, 16 individually, each one individually from 15 on.
Got it. Is it okay?
Okay?
Okay, hold on.
So we'll vote that way, and if there's any discussion, we'll discuss. Thank you.
Sure.
I just want to mention one more thing, because I do try to follow our local politicians as much as we can to see what they're talking about. Can't make the council meetings anymore because of these sessions, but one of our assemblymen, Alex Sawicki, is sponsoring a bill A4750, and I just wanted to pull up my notes on it real quick. It aims to ease the rising healthcare costs for school districts already strained by property tax hikes. So I just wanted you to write that down. He's the prime sponsor for it. I mean, it certainly can't hurt if we all wrote our assemblyman and our senator letters on this particular bill, which is, again, A4750. If we have any hope at all or a chance at all, we might as well go for it.
Thank you for sharing that.
I just want to, our vote tonight has nothing to do with voting on the budget. I just want to make it clear, correct? Am I right?
Yes, a
Okay.
yes vote today does not
It's just
hold
to push
you.
it through, just to
It's
be.
just to submit it
Okay.
to the county. So it does not hold you to anything, and then come in May, you will vote either yes to adopt the budget or no to not adopt the budget. And if no wins, then a budget is not adopted, and then we go through that process where it goes to the state, the county, the state, and so forth. But today's vote is just to be able to submit the tentative budget to the county.
Okay, I just wanted to make that clear. Okay, thanks.
And for further clarification for the public, if it goes to the state can raise to whatever they see fit to cover our budget, correct? The control
We
comes
only
out of our
have
hands.
the past 2 years in some districts such as Toms River or Jackson, where a no vote on on the adoption of their budget. Again, those 2 years, there were different programs set in place. One was Public Law 24, Chapter 12 and 13, I believe, Chris. And the next was the Tax Levy Incentive Aid. So there were other programs in place. When they voted no on their budgets in those respective districts, the state came in and told them, well, you have to go to X to meet your needs based on the programs that were available. So as of right now, there's no programs available, but a potential, depending on a vote in May, the state would tell us ultimately how to proceed, whether it's, if we were in a shortfall, having to cut, or if we were in some kind of, where we had to take an allowable adjustment to take that additional adjustment.
So the state, in theory, could tell us what programs to cut. In theory,
that
not
re-
promise.
Wait, can we not worry about, because now we're going to confuse the public. That is not done until May, and I don't think we should talk about that now, because I think the public's going to think if we vote yes, if we vote no, that's what's going to happen now. I just wanted to make it clear that tonight's vote is not us voting on the budget to raise taxes, to not raise taxes. This is just to push it through to the state, and I think we should worry about all that in the months coming.
I understand that, but I was just clarifying. No.
Yeah, because now I'm just all confused. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, to the county, not even the state, just to be sure. It's to the
Right, just
Middlesex
to the
County.
Yes.
Okay, let's cast our vote. Number 15.
Well, we're
Wait,
going to
hold on.
vote
First,
on
we're
1 to
gonna do
14 first.
All right, roll call for 1 to 14. Oh, wait, we need a motion first. Hold on. Can I get a motion for items 1 to 14?
Jody will move it.
Dan Tuno will second.
I don't think we need discussion, right? We've had enough? Good? Okay, just checking. All right, roll call for 1 to 14.
Okay, Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Solikowski,
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan,
Yes.
Ms. Dantuno,
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Ms. Richards-Patterson,
Yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
All right, resolution 1 through 14 passes for finance. Now, can I have a motion for item number 15?
Venkatesan.
Venkatesan will motion. Do we have a second?
Francisco will second.
Francisco will second. Okay, this is just going to be a roll call. Yeah, sorry. This is a roll call for item or resolution number 15, which is the capital reserve account withdrawal.
Dave,
Mr. Slade.
I just have a quick question.
Okay?
Is there such a thing as a partial roof replacement? Is that? I mean, I'm just.
Yes.
I couldn't partially replace my roof.
This is a section of a roof in the.
I have done a section of my roof in my house. Yeah, section of a roof.
Yes.
Is it the second story or is it the entire first story?
No, this is the, it is roof U. Hold on.
Roof U, because do we have like A through Z and then some? Is there like a double
Yes,
A?
well, based on Perret Somjan's
Wow.
thing, they did a letter, roof U.
Roof U.
I believe if you're looking at the roof, this is closer on the 516 side. So if you're looking at the building, this is a portion of the roof that is closer to the 516 side, and it was the roof from 1973. There's a part of a roof, part of the roof at Sandburg, there's different sections. One was done in 1961, one was done in 1973, but this specific portion of the roof, again, closer, I believe, to the 516 side. We have had roof contractors come out and say there's no more patching it, really. We're at a point where it's in dire need of a replacement, so.
So this is where the library is and the auditorium on that side?
I believe so.
Okay, by the entrance. Okay, thank you. I'm voting yes on that one, because the roof we have to replace.
Okay, well, we're gonna start with Mr. Slade for resolution number 15. Mr. Slade, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Slade.
Yes.
Mr. Solikowski.
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan.
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno.
Yes.
Mr. Dunn.
Abstain.
Ms. Jodry.
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone.
Yes.
Ms. Richards Patterson.
Yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
All right. Resolution number 15 for the capital reserve account withdrawal does pass. Okay. Resolution number 16, which is just a travel and related expense reimbursement. This is just a kind of a template resolution. If you go back to all our tentative budget resolutions, this is a sample. It's a requirement, a formality that has to be done. So we will go to Mr. Slade if there's no questions.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just, sorry, Mr. Slade. We did, like I said, when we talked about our line item budget, we did go through this and kind of attack this, but what this resolution is just sets a maximum amount. That maximum is something we never would have got to and never do get to. So going forward in the future, perhaps we can reduce that number, but this was an item that we were attacking within our budget. So we'll go back to Mr. Slade. He had cast a yes vote, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Solikowski.
Okay, I believe this was all done ahead of time in negotiations, wasn't it? The travel and everything else, Mr. Pardon?
Yeah, this is also an annual appropriation, so it's both.
Okay, I will be voting yes on this also.
Mr. Venkatesan.
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno.
Yes.
Mr. Dunn.
Yes.
Ms. Jodry.
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone.
Yes.
Ms. Richards Patterson.
Yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolution 16 for finance passes. We will now move to Resolution 17, which is the allowable adjustment for health care costs. Any questions on this one?
Yes, I think we have to do a little better on this one. I'm voting no on this one.
Okay. We'll go for roll call. Mr. Slade.
Yes.
Mr. Solikowski.
No.
Mr. Venkatesan.
Just a quick question, right? Just to be sure, this is saying that the state has increased the health benefits cost, and this is what we have to bear with, correct? That's what this talks about.
This resolution is based on our anticipated increase in expenditures for both medical insurance and RX prescription insurance. When you put those costs, those increased costs into the state budget software, there's a formula to allow for allowable adjustment. So based on our increase in costs, we can bring in out of a levy for an allowable adjustment in revenue to cover for those costs. Does that answer the question?
Yes, but I thought that's going to be part of 18, right, as we are going to work on
Yes,
the
but
budget.
in order to have the allowable adjustment, you have to have a separate resolution for it. So you have to have separate resolutions for every adjustment you take on in the budget.
So if we say yes to this, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to agree to that amount in the end. It's just for today.
Correct, yep.
Okay.
Thank you for asking that.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, yes.
Okay. Ms. D'Antuno.
Yes.
Mr. Dunn.
Yes.
Ms. Jodry.
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Ms. Richards Patterson,
Yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolution 17 does pass for finance. We will now move to Resolution 18 as administratively corrective. This is the adoption of our tentative budget. Any questions? And as I say, administratively corrected means that dollar dissertation I gave earlier. All right, Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Solokowski,
No. We could have rolled up our sleeves a little more and did a little more work on this. No.
okay, Mr. Venkatesan,
Yes.
Ms. Dantuno,
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Jodry,
For the purpose of submitting the budget to the county, yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Ditto to Margie's comment, yes.
Ms. Richards Patterson,
Abstain.
abstain, and Ms. Francisco.
Yes, tentatively, yes.
All right. Resolution 18 for finance, the submission of the tentative budget to the county does pass. And then we have resolution number 19, which is a resolution just announcing our tentative date for our public hearing, which is on May 5th, 2026, 7 p.m. here in this space. Okay. Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Solokowski,
Yes, we have to have it. Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan,
Yes.
Ms. Dantuno,
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Ms. Richards Patterson,
Yes.
and Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolution number 19 for the announcing of our tentative budget, our public hearing, is approved. Resolution 19 for finance. Thank you.
All right, great job, everyone. Team effort. Okay, moving on to athletics. Can I please have a motion for items 1 and 2?
Venkatesan
Jodry
will
will
move.
move it.
I got Venkatesan and Jodry.
Any discussion? Actually, I have a question. So these positions already existed. It's just new people in these positions, correct? Correct. Okay. Any other discussion?
Oh, speaking of these of athletic positions, when do all the positions get posted? I know a few people have asked that.
We post basically 3 times a year for the seasons. And everything is, I want to say, we will post in, I think it's April for the August positions, the fall positions.
Right.
Then in October, we post for winter, and then in, I don't know if I have the months exactly right, but somewhere around December, then we post for the spring.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Solokowski,
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan,
Yes.
Ms. Dantuno,
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Ms. Richards Patterson,
Yes.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 and 2 for athletics carries.
Non-certificated personnel office, item number 1. Can I have a motion?
Dantuno will move.
Venkatesan will second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Venkatesan,
Yes.
Ms. Dantuno,
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Ms. Richards Patterson,
Yes.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Solokowski,
Yes.
and Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolution 1 for non-certificated personnel office carries.
Okay, we don't have anything for non-certificated personnel operational. For non-certificated personnel other, can I please have a motion for items 1 through 4? I'm sorry, 1 through 4, right?
Yes.
Dunn will move.
Okay, it says 1 through 5 here, just so you know. Any discussion?
We have Dunn made a motion. We
don't
need a
have a
second.
Ms. Owen will second.
Thank you.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Ms. Richards Patterson,
Yes.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Solokowski,
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan,
Yes.
Ms. Dantuno,
Yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 4 for non-certificated personnel, other carries.
Certificated personnel, items 1 through 10. Can I have a motion?
Ms. Owen, motion.
Jojo, second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
I will happily vote yes.
Ms. Richards-Patterson,
Yes.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Solakowski,
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan,
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno,
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 10 for certificated personnel is approved.
We don't have any, go ahead.
You're not here, right?
Any, do we have any new staff here?
No, I don't see you in person.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sasso, for checking that. Non-certificated personnel transportation, we don't have anything in this section. Transportation, items 1 through 3. Can I please have a motion?
D'Antuno will move.
Dunn will second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Richards-Patterson,
Yes.
Mr. Slade,
Yes.
Mr. Solakowski,
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan,
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno,
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Jodry,
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone,
Yes.
Ms. Francisco.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 3 for transportation carries.
Excuse me, Elena. I just want to give credit to the transportation team. I know when I asked questions about the last, at the agenda meeting about the late buses, I did have a call, not the late buses, the buses being late, I apologize. I got a call from the transportation team, and they're going through just as diligently as the admin team is with the routes and things like that. And, you know, just thank you again for the dedication that you guys do to these routes to make sure these kids get home for things beyond your control, whether it's accidents on the road, potholes and craters creating, you know, detours, or, you know, our contractors not doing their fair share. So thank you again for your dedication to our kids.
I mean, it speaks volumes too. I mean, they're here. Like you're thanking them, and they're here, and they're everywhere. So,
I think they should come up and take a picture.
You know, I think.
I mean, listen, we could totally do that. Come on. Christina didn't get to take a picture with anybody tonight, so she's really itching for that. So, all right, I don't think they want to come up for a picture.
Don't push them because they could put in that letter or something. We don't want to scare them.
All right, where do we have a motion and a second? No? Yes? All right. Okay.
Transportation is
Supplies.
done. We now
I can't
supply.
remember where I left
Yep.
off. So, supplies, equipment, and services, items 1 through 3. Do I have a motion? Can I have a motion?
D'Antuno will move.
Jojo, second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Wydell, can you just explain to everyone number 2, please?
Sure. So number 2, as we talked about in prior meetings, so the healthcare costs, as we said, have been astronomically. It's hard to maintain or keep up with the rising costs. As we talked about at prior finance meetings, medical, we're anticipating increase in costs for the medical to 34%, and in the past, prescription was about 22%. And what that is based on just our claims, our current claims. We can just ride the roller coaster of increasing every year on a fully private plan through our RX. So it was started by Dr. Bragan at the time when Dr. Bragan was here as an interim. We started making the move and looking towards self-insurance for our prescription coverage. And so we put together an RFP, or request for proposal, through competitive contracting to go through and go self-insurance. Essentially, what our goal is to bring additional savings and less expenditures to the district. So we put out an RFP in December. They were due January 6th. There were 13 vendors that asked for a copy of the specifications. 5 proposals were submitted. We ultimately reviewed them with our insurance specialist or insurance broker as our consultant on the project. We interviewed 3 PBMs, prescription benefit management, on site, and narrowed it down based on those interviews. We had to evaluate and score all 5 proposals that were submitted, but based on the interview and, again, the evaluation of the proposals, we felt that going forward with Keenan Med Impact Healthcare Systems was going to be the best move for the district, again, to bring down that cost and the expenditure for RX, and then to realize some savings as well in rebates back to the district. So we put together this move. Ultimately, and I think Dr. Sasso, I'll defer over to him. The first day when we had our opening this year, we talked about potentially exploring some of these spaces, whether it's RX or medical. Ultimately, as employees, we have to, the most important thing is equal or better. So I'll let Dr. Sasso go to that. Moving forward, there'll be a lot of education to come for everyone in our district, whether you're covered under the RX or just an employee of the district. Maybe you want to come into the RX plan, but I'll defer to Dr. Sasso further.
Yes, Ms. Mazzone, just furthermore, we will certainly, after the vote tonight, tomorrow morning, I do have an email ready to go out to our staff, and then I will work hand in hand with our new president and the union leadership to make sure that education programs and that we answer any questions that staff may have, and we'll walk through this so that come July 1st, everything will be transparent, there'll be no surprises. And as I mentioned in my superintendent's report, the vast majority of people, are just going to get a new prescription card, and that'll be the extent to the change. And some other people, obviously, it'll be a little bit more in depth, but in each of those situations, we'll be there hand in hand, making sure that everything goes smoothly.
Any other questions, comments?
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Slade?
Yes.
Mr. Solokowski?
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan?
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Ms. Jodry?
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone?
Yes.
Ms. Richards-Patterson?
Yes.
Ms. Francisco?
Yes.
Resolutions 1, 2, and 3 for supplies, equipment, and services carries.
Miscellaneous items 1 through 6. Can I please have a motion?
Ms. Owen, motion.
D'Antonio, second.
Any discussion on these items?
For number 6, could we just make it clear, because I know some people
Yes,
have posted about this, about the extra school day and, the third snow day. So Dr. Sasso, can you please clarify this for everybody?
Okay, I'll take this one. So the state requires that we operate on 180 days. In Old Bridge, we have 181 days because we're overachievers, which is, really good. It's an extra instructional day. So as a board, at the guidance of administration, we decided to stick with 180. So we're kind of taking that 181st day off, not required by the state to have, so that our students and families and staff members can have a full spring break. So we're going to drop the calendar from 181 to 180. Spring break stays intact, and all the rest of the days off for the rest of the school year stay intact. And the last day of school is, anybody want to help me out here? Okay, good. There we go. Thank you. June 19th, because we're utilizing the 2 snow days at the end of the year that were built into the schedule already. So whatever you see on the calendar, it says June 19th. That's what the last day is going to be. Did I miss anything? Good.
Thanks.
Yay! Party. Okay. Any other discussion or questions for items 1 through 6? Thank you. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Solokowski?
Yes.
Mr. Venkatesan?
Yes.
Ms. D'Antuno?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Ms. Jodry?
Yes.
Ms. Mazzone?
Yes.
Ms. Richards-Patterson?
Yes.
Mr. Slade?
Yes.
Ms. Francisco?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 6 for miscellaneous passes.
Excellent. Do we have any board secretary board business?
None for tonight.
Do we ever have anything there? Like, what is that? Like, what is?
Yes.
I don't even know what that's for.
There are some things that are
What would
approved,
fall into that category?
I believe,
What? School board recognition month.
Yep,
Okay.
I believe we also had naming you as the delegate for the ESENJ
Okay.
was there as well.
All right. Some miscellaneous items. All right. Well, we don't have any tonight, so thank you. Okay. Do we have any hearing of the residents on any school district topic? Now's your time. Seeing none, I will close hearing of the residents. Okay, old and or new business. We can start with old. We can move into new. Anybody have anything?
I know it wasn't necessarily probably your favorite part of the meeting, but I do want to thank David and the accounting team for all the diligence over $1. We can laugh and joke about it, but the fact that the accounting team, really worries about, every dollar just goes to show what this whole budget thing is about and how we strive to, we've had trouble-free audits for over 12 years now, and I forget what the number is, but, just to continue that. So thank you for all of the hard work over that.
I have something to say. And I'm just going to speak on behalf of Grissom Elementary, and that's only because I am there the most. And I'm sure this is across the district, but it's a breath of fresh air, and I've heard this from staff, from students, that the presence that Dr. Sasso brings into the schools. For Grissom, for a school that was kind of, pushed to the side for a long time, it's very noticeable that he is at every single thing that he is invited to, and probably things that he's not invited to also. The kids notice it, the staff notices it. I had many teachers approach me and say how they feel very uplifted, and it's like you just bring them like support. They feel very supported by you. And I know that's not easy. You have 14 schools that you cover, and I'm sure you do this to every one of your schools. And especially this time of the year, budget, it's not easy. You've been working your tail off. You, Mr. Wydell, have not stopped working. And I had the pleasure of speaking to your wife at Candy Bingo, and I apologize for you not being home. I mean, she didn't miss you that much, but she, but she did say that you are so dedicated to your job. So I wanted to thank you for just making those teachers in that school and those students feel appreciated. So thank you.
I appreciate those kind words, and but it's definitely a team, and I'm surrounded by a tremendous team. Dr. Hoker, Dr. Tui, Mr. Wydell, right here at the table. So many people out in the audience. We have a tremendous staff, and so it's I'm blessed to be part of just really a great team. But thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Anyone else? Okay, I have a couple of things. So just to even kind of stem off of that in the sense of just being invited, the schools are inviting the board members to so many events. And I always say this, the one thing that we all have in common is when you invite us, we will come. So I just want to thank all of the schools who have been asking us to come out. My favorite place to be is inside of our buildings, and it really gives us insight to sit at this table and make the decisions that we make, because we're not making them blindly. We're making them based on our experiences with our staff members and conversations and sitting with the kids and reading stories and all of the wonderful programs that we have. So keep inviting us. We will keep coming, and I really love that aspect. It's my favorite part of all this, because God knows these meetings are super boring, and I feel boring and bored. Not bored, but just like I want to like liven them up somehow, but I don't really know if anybody wants me singing and dancing up here. So I'm trying to make it easier to get through. So by talking about some good things. So I mean, last week, just as some small examples, and there's so many, many of us were at Sandburg's Language Honor Society induction ceremony for the students. We were at Southwood for their wax museum, and I know that we were also invited to Memorial's wax museum coming up this week. I also got to participate in Sandburg's National School of Character interviews with other parents, which was really cool. And we were at SEPTA's meeting, and then I ended my week by attending Me and My Girl, which was our high school musical performance, which was phenomenal. Sometimes I have to like ask myself, I'm like, these kids can totally be on Broadway. So congratulations to all of the people who were involved in putting that together, the backstage crew, the teachers, the kids who were up there, putting themselves out there. It was really awesome to see, and it was really funny too. I laughed a lot. So keep inviting us. We will keep coming. I also wanted to say, and it's kind of along the lines of what Christina was mentioning. So as the board president, I have been invited to tables that I've never been invited to before, and I don't think that any previous board presidents have been invited to before. I'm sitting, with admin on really deep discussion on finances, and I can confidently say that all of them up here are working so hard, just like all the other board members have said tonight. And I was able to attend, Dr. Sasso invited me to a meeting to sit with Mrs. Fazio and Dr. Tui at Middlesex County College to learn more about our dual enrollment classes. And I learned so much just being there. And the awesome part about it is we provide all of these different courses for our kids to try to get college credits before they graduate and potentially an associate's degree. And it's a win-win because the district isn't responsible for paying for any of those, and the parents and the families do, but at a cost that is less than a third of what the college classes cost if you're a college student at Middlesex. So it is just a win-win all around. We sat around that table talking about ways. Mrs. Fazio has 1,000,001 ways to improve this program and courses to add. Dr. Tui was there making sure that our special education students were included in these decisions and how we can help move forward with them as well. So that was really refreshing. And I sat down again with Dr. Sasso and the mayor and one of our senators to discuss some school finances and other ways we can collaborate with the township. So everything is moving in a really positive direction, and I'm really grateful for this admin team for including me as the president and other board members in all of these discussions. So it just feels really good to move forward, and I'm proud to be up here as the president to continue in this fashion. And I think that's it. I will be quiet now. Anybody else?
Just wanted to say we have a student services meeting April 7th when we come back from break, and I just wanted to wish everyone a wonderful spring break. Hopefully the weather is as nice as everything else, but I hope everyone enjoys their time off.
Thank you, Jen, for that reminder.
I just wanted to mention that originally CPEG had scheduled their next meeting for the 15th of April, but they changed it to the 20th. Dr. Doherty and Ms. Adenolfi will speak on steps to success, navigating the next grade with confidence, and that will be a virtual presentation.
Thank you, Margie, for letting us know. Anything else?
Yes. I just want to thank the schools that did invite me to come do a tour as the new board member. Carpenter had a beautiful inclusion ceremony. Miller, I just loved seeing the little kids stand up for Dr. Giles. As soon as we would walk past, they'd get so excited. Recently, I went to Cooper for the Q&U wedding, which was the most special thing in the world because we didn't have it at my son's school, and my daughter missed it in 4th grade when she started at Grissom. So that was really cool to see. So much fun and adorable. And then to go to Grissom and walk down memory lane. Last time I was there, my daughter graduated high school, and all her friends that went to Grissom with her took pictures there. So that was 5 years ago. We loved going to McDivitt to see, my son's favorite faculty members. Memorial, Mr. Foy. Thank you. Just the short amount of time that he's there, how knowledgeable he is, and the way he, just projects this pride and confidence in every single one of the faculty members was just so comforting to see. I went to the unified meeting at Shira. I got to meet with some faculty members at Shepherd. I went to Southwood for their Jeopardy and their wax museum. Voorhees, Dr. Rico, he knows the name of every single child. Everybody we walked past, it just didn't matter, he knew their name. I went to Salk, spent a really good amount of time with Mr. Rezes, and we got to experience the pier. I actually wanted to mention this. I keep meaning to mention this to you guys. I just don't know the right time. When I got there, it was the pier for the middle schoolers and the high schoolers. And just to watch them engage, I know that one of our board goals is to have more team bonding. And I told Mr. Rezes that I think it would be so cool if they included us in one of their events because they're just actively making up these games and they're just so much fun. So he thought that was really cool, but of course that's ultimately up to the board. We just haven't talked about some of the goals recently, so it was worth mentioning. And I got to go to Sandberg's winter pep rally and Glen School to watch the kids light up. That was the first time I've been there to watch the kids. They just adore Miss Adenolfi. Madison Park was one of the special ones, for me personally, because Mr. Daly and Miss Ziemba from Sandberg, they teamed up to do a mentorship with children who struggle, and I was one of those kids. So I think that's really special, and those kids will never forget those faculty members that did that for them. Grade 9 center, it was awesome because I got to hang out with the cafeteria ladies, and they really, I mean, Jay calls them the fairy godmothers, and I love that because that's them to a T. The way they advocate for our kids and show up at our committee meetings is just incredible. I mean, we have the transportation ladies here too. It's incredible to see how much you guys care, along with all our paras. I forgot this at the last meeting, guys. The PTSA, for the high school, they had a beautiful, huge turnout for the Tricky Tray for the high schoolers. And I just want to thank everybody for a tremendous job. And I also enjoyed Matilda and me and my girl very much. I wanted to wish a belated EID. I missed it at the last meeting. A happy Passover and a happy Easter to everybody.
Thank you, Brooke. Anyone else? Okay, let's wrap it up. We're going into closed executive session, and we won't be coming back out. So can I have a motion to go into closed executive session?
Zonal motion.
D'Antuono, second.
All in
All
favor?
in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're going to go into executive
Thank you,
session.
everybody.